And now, Adrian.
Yo,
newsflash, buddy.
What's up?
Here we go. We got some. This week's a little fun. We got some trailers because next week we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie coming out.
Yep.
Mutant Mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
Which are we gonna review that here?
Sure.
I mean, I'm going to see it. I don't know if you are. So
yeah, I'm gonna go see it. I got some fond memories of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming out. You know, so yeah, it'd be nice to see it. And I also kind of like the new artwork too.
Oh, it looks
they
amazing.
got going out.
So you say you're kind of a fan. When did you become a fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? With the original movies? Were you ever into the comics?
I actually went out to see it originally because that's when comic movies were just starting to come out. So I was fascinated by anything that they can put on the big screen that represented comics.
Got it.
So that's how I kind of got into it. Not because I really heard about them or I was a fan of them. It was just that I wanted to see anything on the screen that was a representation of the comic book world. So that's how I got into it.
I gotcha. And the original was like, what, 90 maybe, or early 89 or something like that? Which I was young. I was born in 85, so I was like 5-6 years old when this thing came out.
Yeah.
And I loved it, man. It was also like kind of dark.
Yeah.
If you remember, it was a dark movie for being a comic book movie.
I mean, it was kind of like a DC-esque.
Yeah.
You know, everything's in the dark except with a Marvel cinematography because they made the dark not so dim like DC does.
Right.
You know? So it was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And the second one I thought was really good. Third one, they got a little off the rails and they went to Japan and all that. They tried to be too fun. It was kind of like the old Batman movies, right? They started off really dark and then they got really campy. Yeah. And then they just killed the series.
Of course.
That's when your boy George Clooney came in.
With the nipples.
Yeah, with the fucking bat nipples. And that was when my boy, Andy Muschietti, man, Clown of the Week, maybe? We come up with a name. Maybe that's it. Because you did say last week another clown steps up. So.
No. Clown of the Week doesn't sound appropriate.
It's too nice.
It's too nice. We got to get some equivalent of donkey. Like, you are literally an ass. For whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
For your nomination. Clown is too
nice.
Yeah, it's definitely too nice.
So, hey, if y'all are watching, we're open to suggestions. We need something because every week it's somebody, Adrian, that pisses me off. You know, it's like every week. It's like it's a personal attack on me and I get upset. But anyways, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Mutant Mayhem comes out August 2nd. To your point, man, the art style, it looks great.
Yeah.
And I will say, I bet this is influenced somewhat by the Spider-Verse movies, right?
I knew where you were going. I knew it. And I saw that. I'm like, yeah, everybody's. Yeah. And not only is the Spider-Verse cinematography and artwork influencing other artwork, but it's also influencing this whole meta universe kind of thing. You'll see that theme even in movies that have nothing to do with comics.
Right.
You'll hear this multiverse, universe, the universe of, and the blah, 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 blah. So I think it's very interesting.
Right. Well, that's Hollywood for you, right? It's like one thing gets popular and it's everywhere.
Right.
I mean, we saw it like, what was it, maybe 10 years ago with the zombie shit?
Yep.
It's like everybody wanted zombies in their movies.
Right.
And now we're seeing it with the multiverse. I mean, there's movies that, like you said, have nothing to do with comics that have alternate universes.
Right. You know what's coming up next, though, right?
What?
UFOs, dude.
Oh.
When Disney put UFO documentaries online, we're gonna see some stuff here in like the next 10 or 20 years. They got to figure out a way to kind of slide all these lies in. But anyway, not comics. So here we go.
Right. Well, you heard it first on Only Comics. Adrian predicted that the next wave of movies is going to be UFOs and aliens.
No, not movies. The next wave is going to be over our cities, dude.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're predicting they're coming here. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Got it.
Or at the very least, they're going to be more transparent.
Okay.
With what they've been hiding for 70 years. That's all.
Got it. All right. Well, that's your prediction. But yeah, this movie, man, I'm excited about it. Interesting. I don't believe that Shredder's in this movie. They're going with some additional villain like Bebop, Rocksteady, those guys.
Right.
Which is cool because, I mean, Shredder is awesome, right? He's like that. I mean, it's like Batman Joker, right? It's Shredder's the villain. But I'm okay with them building up to it because these other villains we've never really seen on screen. I think in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, we saw Bebop and Rocksteady a little bit. But the main focus was the Foot Soldiers and Shredder. Right. So hopefully this movie does well and we get a few of them and we build to that. So I'm okay with the additional, with the kind of sideline characters.
What's interesting, I think, with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is that movie kind of like cast, kind of what is it? Capture the minds of young people back in that day. And I hope that that's what they're trying to do now.
Yeah.
Because the comic book world and the ability to imagine and to think outside the box is really important to kids. And I hope they can like recapture the youth's mind today as opposed to all these video games and stuff.
Yeah.
So I hope that's where they're going with this. But if not, I hope it at least is entertaining. You know?
Right. Well, I mean, hey, it's working with me because my daughter, who's 11, really knows nothing about Ninja Turtles because they've not been popular for a while, right? But she's seen this trailer a few times and she's like dying to go see it. So hey, maybe they are tapping into that. But I agree that is definitely the feeling I used to get as a kid from these Ninja Turtle movies. So I like the soundtrack's going to be, I guess, mostly kind of like 90s hip hop. So I love that, and I think it fits the art style. The art style almost. It's not a copy of Spider-Verse. I feel like it's inspired by, but it's almost more like graffiti-ish.
Right,
like,
I was going to say that too.
Kind of
New
gritty.
York.
Yeah, it feels like New York.
Yep, exactly.
So
exactly.
I'm looking forward to this. We will review this next week because it comes out on the 2nd. Other news, you mentioned the Marvels earlier when we were doing our toe dip. This movie comes out in November, so a few months away. They just dropped a brand new trailer. So they had the San Diego Comic-Con this past weekend, right? Are you a Comic-Con guy? You ever been to any?
I have not. I'm curious about them. I would be interested to just drop into one.
Yeah.
But my schedule, I'm just busy. So whenever I hear about it, it's already passed.
Yeah.
I feel like a little, I'm disappointed. Like a Sam Jackson moment. And then I move on. But I would love to go see one. But I'm not going to say I'm not a fan, but I just haven't been to one.
Gotcha. So I've never been to this big one. Like this is something I want to do. I want to go to San Diego one year.
Yeah.
So you're in luck, Adrian. Next week, they're in Connecticut. They do what's called Terrificon. It's the biggest Comic-Con in this area. It's held at the casino, Mohegan Sun.
Oh yeah.
And it starts next Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's a massive event. All kinds of vendors. There's cosplay. There's there's actors, comic book writers that are there. So next week you're in luck. So if you're not too busy, man, swing over. I'll be there. I'm gonna cosplay, Adrian. Me and the kids. Yep. We're going as. Actually, I shouldn't tell you. Take a guess. What do you think I would dress up? Let's see how well Adrian knows me.
It's either gonna be like Batman or it's gonna be like Star Wars kind of.
Nope. We are going as Spider-Man. So I'm going as the classic. My big ass is gonna get in a red and blue Spider-Man suit. And my daughter's gonna be Gwen Stacy. My son's gonna be Miles. So we got the whole crew.
Well, you better get some Apple tags or something and put in your pockets because I got a feeling you're gonna be surrounded by people in costumes. So
absolutely. So anyways, that's next week. So on top of the reviews, I'll come back with some feedback about the Comic-Con, maybe some merch or some cool art we'll display here. But the Marvels, so they debuted this new trailer at the San Diego Comic-Con. So that's like the big one. That is the Comic-Con, right? New trailer. We mentioned earlier, I'm not a huge Brie Larson fan. Right. So I'm actually glad that they are adding Maria Rambeau, or I keep getting mixed up, Monica Rambeau and Kamala Khan in this movie because if it was all Brie Larson, it'd be very hard for me to sit through.
I agree.
Because the first Captain Marvel was not my favorite movie. It was okay.
Yeah.
It was just but this trailer, I mean, so far I like what we've seen in the trailer. Mm-hmm. I like, seeing a lot of it's in space. These two, it's like a body swap type movie, so it should be funny.
Right.
Which, sometimes we kind of pick on them for the comic relief.
Right.
But, to your point of Secret Invasion really being kind of slow and almost brooding, I'm not opposed to having some humor as long as it's done well.
Yeah, something needs to happen. I saw, at your suggestion, Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
On Disney. And really, the only reason that I'm going to see this is the Kamala character.
Okay.
I mean, I absolutely love the flavor of Miss Marvel. Mm-hmm. The culture, they did a very good job of showing off that culture. And so really, I'm just going to see her in this. And then second tier is, Monica Rambeau. I think they kind of like pussyfooting around with the Monica Rambeau character.
Yeah.
They could do a lot more with that, almost immediately instead of, kind of like filtering her in. But, I'm definitely not going to see the Brie Larson Captain Marvel part of it.
No. But yeah, I like the Monica Rambeau character, what they've done so far. I mean, we saw her in WandaVision, where she got her powers, going in and out of the void or whatnot.
Right.
And it seems, I mean, she's a pretty powerful character. I mean, that's the kind of thing about Captain Marvel. She's like one of the most powerful Avengers, right?
Correct.
And it seems like Monica is up there too. So that would be cool to see.
Right, right.
So that comes out in November. But again, new trailer just dropped. Looks pretty interesting. They also, did you see the Blue Beetle? They dropped a new trailer for that.
I'm really interested in seeing the Blue Beetle. I mean, I'm not a fan of him.
I never knew who he was.
Never even knew who he was. I mean, I saw him coming out in, I don't know what it was, some show on Teen Titans or something like that.
Yeah.
That level of anime on the TV. But seems like that's how I got introduced to him. But I'm really, the cinematography on this movie looks really good, especially that bus split scene.
Oh, yeah, that was cool. That was definitely cool.
Which is probably why they put it in. But
yeah. I know, I love that, where they spoil all the best stuff in the trailers. But hey, maybe this will be DC's kind of, they're turning the corner. I mean, we the DC fanboys got pretty upset with us last week because we criticized the decision to add Green Lantern into Superman, and a lot of them didn't like that, right? A lot of people think that we're anti-DC. That's not true.
Nope.
You're not anti-DC.
No, we're just trying to make you better, DC.
Absolutely.
We have a right. We're spending our money. We have a right to our, our comments and stuff. And in this other group, if they want to be upset with that, they have a right to their opinion as well.
Yep. Have at it. But we are not anti-DC.
Nah.
Matter of fact, Batman's my favorite character. He's
right.
DC. So. But you like you said, when we see something we don't like, we're going to point it out.
Right.
So hopefully this Blue Beetle could be the turning point for these DC movies, because it does seem pretty good.
Yeah.
It does seem. I mean, George Lopez is in. I love George Lopez.
Right.
He plays the dad. He's got like this freaking weird mullet and his long beard.
Right.
They did a good job with the fake beard, though. They didn't do the shitty job. So that is one win DC y'all have, because still Samuel L. Jackson with the fake fucking goatee now. Like, what? Why?
Dude, get over that goatee.
God. It looks like, like the shit that's inside a stuffed animal?
Oh, my God.
It looks like they took that and just glued it to his face.
Wow.
And he has a real goatee because we've seen it in all the other movies. So I don't know why they felt like, oh, you know what? Here's what we needed. Here's how we can change Nick Fury. Take that shit out of that pillow over there and glue it on his face.
I think they're trying to age him a little bit. I
more
mean,
than he
but if you don't look at the goatee, he looks like he did 15 years ago.
He does.
So it's like, just get away from the aging thing, put out his original hair, and just call it a day so Mike can stop.
Exactly. God. Or just dye it. Hey, like people ask you if you dyed it.
Right.
Maybe they could just dye his beard. I don't know. All right. So here we go. DC. Speaking of DC. Here's what they're going to do, Adrian. So we talk a lot about Batman here on Only Comics. Last week we ranked our Batman. In October we're going to do something fun. We're going to review The Long Halloween.
Yep.
We've not done really any comics on here, or actual comic books. We've pretty much all been movies and shows, just based off of what's been released. But Batman news. Now you would think that being such big Batman fans, that we would be excited about multiple Batman movies dropping. But here's my issue. So the Flash director, Andy Muschietti, my man, Jackass of the Week here. Only reason we're not saying that is because we know how, YouTube and all these, if we swear too much, then it's not, y'all won't be able to see it. They're gonna hide it. But he is the Jackass of the Week again. Andy Muschietti's like the fucking reigning champ, dude. I mean, how many times he's been winning this? So we had to create this award for him.
Right.
So Andy Muschietti is directing Batman, The Brave and the Bold. So before I even get into my issue, this movie sounds like an awesome idea.
Yep.
Bat family's already going to be established. Damian's going to be Robin. We're going to see Nightwing in it. We're going to see Batgirl. Like, Batman's going to be a little bit older. We've never seen this level of, Bat family in anywhere but comics or animated movies.
Right.
So that's cool. The one time we got to see anything close to this was when your boy George Clooney was out there with, Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl and that whole mess.
Right.
So Batman Brave and the Bold sounds like a great idea, great movie, right? Now, here's the issue, though. We have The Batman, which started last year.
Yep.
Robert Pattinson, who y'all learned last week was my favorite Batman. So that's dropped. We've learned that they've confirmed there's going to be a trilogy. So Matt Reeves, who directed this, in my opinion, phenomenal movie. He's got the green light to do a trilogy. There was a teaser. I don't know if you saw this recently for The Penguin. It's a show on Max that's going to tie right into the Batman. So Colin Farrell's Penguin has his own show coming out.
Colin Farrell?
Yep.
The Irish dude?
Yeah, he's the one who played Penguin in the Batman.
Okay.
You can't even recognize him, right? No. So he's got the show coming out, and it's going to take place right after the end of the first Batman movie when Gotham's still flooded and all that deal, right? Falcone's dead. So all great news until you realize this is where they make a dumbass decision, in my opinion. Okay, so we got the Batman 1 came out in 2022, and I don't know the years that these are coming out, but the Batman 2 is the next Batman movie that we're going to see, right? So naturally, you would expect that the Batman 3 would be the next one after that, right? Would that make sense?
It would make sense.
Like 1, 2, 3?
Yeah.
So here's what they're going to do. And James Gunn, who last week was our Jackass of the Week.
Right.
I think they're tied this week, him and Andy Muschietti, because he's in charge of DC, so it's his decision. The Batman Brave and the Bold, or The Brave and the Bold, is coming out in between Batman Part 2 and Part 3.
Wow.
I mean, why?
Different directors too, right?
Different director. Yeah, my man Andy Muschietti, bro. He's directing this one. I mean, isn't that going to be confusing? And isn't that going to kind of dilute how important like these Batman movies should be?
I expect to hear a comment like Disney, our last dude, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
We're not calling this Jackass of the Week, but we're using this a lot.
Yeah.
But I expect to hear a comment like, there's too much content out and we need to do budget cuts. However, I'm okay with the multiple Batmans because Batman is multifaceted.
Yep.
There is a version of him. Did you see the Ninja Batman anime? Okay. So there's a genre and an era and a type of Batman for everybody. So I'm cool with it, but I do agree to stick them in the middle.
Yeah.
Of two different types of Batmans would be, a little confusing, especially if you're trying to reintroduce this character to the universe.
Right. Like imagine in between Iron Man 2 and 3, we got to see there was rumors of Tom Cruise. We always talk about Tom Cruise.
Oh my God.
You remember the rumors that he was gonna play like a rebooted Iron Man? I don't know if you remember that like a year ago. So that was an actual rumor.
I'm glad.
Right. And then they even every time they do a multiverse movie, there's always rumors about, Tom Cruise's Iron Man showing up. Like, I think in Multiverse of Madness, there was a big rumor that he was going to show up there, right? So that was – so could you imagine between Iron Man 2 and 3, there's just like this sideline movie of an older Iron Man and Tom Cruise is playing him?
No. That would be horrible to me. I mean, I couldn't mentally process that. Tom Cruise playing an Iron Man is like Nick Cage playing a Superman. I love these guys in their movie styles, but crossing over into the comic book world as superheroes is not their thing. It's just not. It would just be a sad moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what's happening. They're going to squeeze in another Batman movie in between two others. So, hey, it is what it is. I mean, I guess on the other side, as a Batman fan, be thankful that we're getting more Batman content. Right. I wouldn't mind them waiting to the next year, maybe.
Right. Something.
But anyway, so last piece of news here. So I went to see the Barbie movie yesterday.
Okay.
Adrian. Yeah, with my girls and my wife, and it was not what I was expecting. It was a lot better than that. It was funny. The storyline kind of reminded me of like Elf a little bit, right?
Okay.
And you're like, why are you talking about this on Only Comics? Because there was a Zack Snyder joke in this movie, right? So there is a scene where the Barbies are kind of like brainwashed or whatnot, and I'm not going to spoil a whole bunch, but one of the Barbies wakes up, and her exact line was, let's see if I can find it real quick. She says that, no, can't find it. So anyways, what she says something along the lines of, so here the Barbie was brainwashed and they were like serving the Kens, right?
Yeah.
So they all were like basically maids and servants, and then they wake them up, and one of the Barbies goes, wow, I feel like I was in a dream where I was so invested in the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League.
Right,
It was a bad thing.
Right.
And the funny thing behind why I bring this up is WB is the same company behind both movies.
Right.
So they're kind of poking fun at themselves or Zack Snyder. Because, I mean, if you remember when this Zack Snyder cut was released, it really was the fans that kind of forced WB's hand because I mean, they started this big campaign online, which then and the Justice League movie did so bad that they kind of greenlit, Zack Snyder to go ahead and do his deal, and then James Gunn comes in and kills the whole thing.
Right.
So there's this divide between DC fanboys too. Zack Snyder versus James Gunn, but whatever. So I thought that was funny, a little meta humor.
And I like that. I mean, they because they're the same properties. I think that's cool, and it's also good marketing for their movies.
Right.
Kind of tossing the name around, like, oh, what does that mean? And blah blah. People start digging. I mean, it's a line in the movie, and you got whole articles on it. So obviously, the marketing is working.
Oh yeah, and I hear this Barbie movie's like killing it.
Yeah,
the movie theater was crazy yesterday. Everywhere you went, there was just middle-aged women in pink and Barbie stuff, kids. Like, dude, they came out for this movie.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
wow.
They're
I
saying,
wouldn't have expected that.
No, me neither. And they're saying that so far, this movie that for the first weekend did better than Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And I guess the biggest movie of 2023 so far, first week numbers, was the Super Mario movie.
Yeah.
And they're saying this may even top that.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Wow.
Anyway, here we go. That is our news flash segment.